All right, good morning. July 23rd, Tradingology.com's trading room, Thursday, third session of this week, fourth one of what's going to be normal schedules going now. And I'm assuming, Dave, you're the iPhone today. You're being tricky, aren't you? We'll let him get unmuted here in a second if that's him. And I believe I got recording going. Yes, we do. Get your guys' chat. All right, good to see you guys. Tim, Kevin, BD, as always, our regulars here. Good morning, sir. I got a special fancy treat for a coffee mug for you today. I don't know if I've showed you this one yet or not. Get yourself some Nick Cage. It was a funny gag gift from a few years ago from a friend's birthday party. One of those white elephant gift events that they do. Big day for news and crypto today. So we'll definitely, I assume, Dave was planning. I was chatting with him earlier. Let's see. We'll unmute this for a second, see if Dave is the iPhone. Or maybe Dave's not the iPhone. Maybe he's busy doing something with trading. So we'll just look at the general markets real quick and we'll save the crypto for when Dave gets here. We had a nice bounce off of the person pivot here. Beautiful little setup. The price signals stopped progressing to the downside and started moving back up. At the same time, the price moved back up. So that was a nice little setup there. And Dave was not the iPhone, so he is coming in the door now. We will welcome him to the show in a second.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing this fine Thursday?
Good. Just running a little late. I was taking some notes on this incredible announcement. I don't know if you've, have you told anybody? Have you said anything?
I just said it was a big day in crypto. We'd wait for Dave.
I have never been so excited, I think, in the last 3.5 years of my involvement in crypto than yesterday.
That's what I figured. I'd highlight a different. We'll get Binance up here today. We'll look at different platforms at different times.
Good.
Not logged in, so there's nothing personal here. I don't think. Let me triple check. Yep, we're safe.
All right, great. So, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I apologize ahead of time for my enthusiasm. However, this is a momentous day. If we ever look back on a day that in the future to say, hey, what was the turning point? What was that inflection point? What was that, day in which we can celebrate in the future? Well, yesterday was the day.
We could put a pin in July 22nd, 2020.
Yes, absolutely.
It's kind of like September 17th sticks in my head for when the repo operations and the spike happened.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's almost exactly the same thing, only that was negative news and this is positive news. And so this is just absolutely incredible. So if you have that article, the press release from the OCC, why don't we bring that up? Oh, you are right on cue, my man.
And let me ask you this. I have my window open because it's a beautiful temperature today. If you hear a dog barking, it's the neighbor's dog behind me. Let me know and I'll close the window.
Okay. No problem for me whatsoever.
It's annoying me right now.
I thought I heard a dog, but I wasn't quite sure if it was my neighbor or your neighbor.
All right. So if it gets too bad,
anyway,
I'll take care of it. But yeah, banks can now be providers of custody for crypto assets.
This came really quite by surprise yesterday. Now, a lot of people were speculating in the crypto community about some sort of announcement coming out on July 21st. There was a lot of stuff going back and forth. Didn't happen on the 21st, happened yesterday. I think this is the news that everybody was rumoring that was going to come out. But let's, why don't you hold it right there and let's read this for a second, because it really it lends itself to a moment that we should really soak in. So the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the OCC, today published a letter clarifying national banks and Federal Savings Association's authority to provide cryptocurrency custody services for customers. What? What?
I wonder why they would want to do that.
Where did this come from? This is insane. I mean, hey, we have not had any legislation. We have not had any laws being, any kind of legislation being presented to the floor of the Senate on anything to do with cryptocurrency, except, if you remember, the very first CARES Act
Yep.
had a digital dollar and a digital wallet portion of that CARES Act. In fact, it was right in the front of it. It was the very first thing that was mentioned in the first CARES Act. Crazy, right?
Yep.
And so, and that was wallets. That was wallets being held by banks. Well, where'd that come from? Well, this must be a response to that because the OCC, I guess. Now, one thing about the OCC that you guys should understand is that the OCC does not need regulatory approval in order to make their authority known to banks and have the authority to instruct banks on what to do. They are an independent arm of the Treasury, and they can do basically whatever they want when it comes to regulating banking institutions. And so this is an official approval of banks being able to hold in custody cryptocurrencies for their customers. All right, let's keep reading.
Yeah, this is not, just a quick glimpse there. This is not just someone's opinion. This is the
Right.
OCC.gov's website.
Exactly. This is not an opinion. This is official from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. All right, let's keep reading. National and state banks and thrifts have long provided safekeeping and custody services. So now they're pulling in the banks, right? They're pulling in the banks and say, hey, this is a bank. Banks have been doing this for a long time, including both physical objects and electronic assets. So when they're talking about physical objects, they're talking about safety deposit boxes mostly. And electronic assets. Well, most currency is digital now.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
The OCC has specifically recognized the importance of digital assets and the authority for banks to provide safekeeping for such assets since 1998. But digital assets have been around since 1998, except the printing of US dollars from one bank account to another. That's about it. They say digital assets and they kind of mix it in with cryptocurrency. So I guess they're trying to lump them all together.
Well, that way you have the general public. It's an easier way to understand it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good point because what they're doing is they're saying, hey, look, you've already had digital assets in your account.
Exactly.
You already had them there.
It's
in the letter, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's nothing new. Don't scare anybody. Your
That's
dollar
right.
is still okay.
Yeah, don't scare anybody. In the letter published today, the OCC concludes that providing cryptocurrency custody services, including holding unique cryptographic keys associated with cryptocurrency, is a modern form of traditional bank activities related to custody services. So again, they're making that the analogy that banks are the ones who have the authority to hold and the safety necessary to hold cryptographic assets and keys associated. So crypto custody services may extend beyond passively holding keys. I'm not sure exactly what that means. That's kind of an interesting
Maybe
statement.
outside of a pre-allocation theory where they're passively holding them.
Possibly, or they're going to, if the services extend beyond custody, maybe they're going to start offering the sale of cryptocurrencies. Interesting. So, in order for the banks to generate fees in this new cryptocurrency paradigm, selling of cryptocurrencies and generating fees from that is really probably where they're going. But there could be other things. I'm not quite sure exactly what that might be, but that seems what their intention is.
And with interest rates at or near zero, they need to find some way to replace that income stream.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Quote, from safe deposit boxes to virtual vaults, we must ensure banks can meet the financial services needs of their customers today, said acting controller of the currency, Brian P. Brooks. Now, if you're in the cryptocurrency space, you know Brian P. Brooks was the legal counsel for Coinbase. So he's there to do this.
Interesting how they have movements internally in this world, how people go from one spot to the other, but they don't go very far away from the whole realm of the crypto world.
Yes, exactly. And now they're starting to integrate into the kind of the traditional financial.
Saying modern form of traditional banking activities, we are very close.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's just absolutely fascinating. In this one short 6-7 paragraph statement, he has taken cryptocurrencies and the traditional banking system and just said, hey, they're actually one thing. They're not separate. You know, the traditional banks have always had custody. All right, so where did we leave off here? Okay, quote again, this opinion clarifies that banks can continue satisfying their customers' needs for safeguarding their most valuable assets. Is he calling cryptocurrencies the most valuable asset?
We should get him on the phone.
Unbelievable. So,
which today for
tens of millions of Americans includes cryptocurrency. Now, the tens of millions of Americans, interesting, because basically what he's saying is that the top, earners in this country have accumulated cryptocurrencies. And I think what they did was on the last tax, when you did your taxes this past year, you had to check a little box to see if you've done anything with cryptocurrencies. And then what they're doing is they're taking and tabulating that data of probably the top 10% of the households in, as far as income goes in the United States. And if you check that box, well, now they know that, what percentage of the population in the United States owns cryptocurrencies or had dealt with cryptocurrencies last year, and what their income level is.
Interesting little look at the top 0.1%.
Yes, very interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what the 1%, the 0.1, 0.2, 0.5 is. Maybe they're all they have gone down because they've all gone up to the top one.
Yeah, very possible. Yeah, look at the top 1%, 2%, and 3% though.
Yeah, and then so those ones, the ones that are anywhere from 22 to 80,000, have all gone up steadily. So the top tier, the top 1% of the 1% have all, I don't know if they're all jumping up to 24 million XRP, but
yeah, did the 4% just hit a plateau here?
Yeah,
that's interesting how that's a perfectly flat line.
Yeah, I guess they didn't quite get the memo yet.
That's what today's about.
We'll have to, yeah, that's exactly right. So let's see, where were we here? Now, there's a couple of other interesting things. So he's talking about safeguarding their most valuable asset. So what he's really saying there is that they consider cryptocurrency to be a valuable asset. There's no mistaking that line right there. Because if banks are going to custody crypto assets now, he's calling it a valuable asset. The OCC also recognizes that as the financial markets are increasingly digitized, the need will increase for banks and other service providers to leverage new technology and innovative ways to serve the customer's needs. He's made that statement a couple of times that, it's a way to satisfy customer demand. And so he sees this growing, the need for custody services, cryptocurrencies. By doing so, banks can continue to fulfill the financial intermediation function. Well, the whole idea behind cryptocurrency is intermediation, right? So we want to have decentralized function, but Yeah, that's XRP and Ripple, the company, knew that that was not going to happen. That's why they positioned XRP to work with the financial institutions, because, you know, when you came down to it, they're not going to give up control. They're not going to give up their power.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Find a
So,
way to live in the system and not compete and take it over or replace it.
that's right. So, so this financial intermediation function, they have historically played in providing payment, lending, and deposit services. Today's opinion applies to national banks and federal savings associations of all sizes, and is consistent with a number of states which have already authorized state banks to trust companies to provide similar functions. So, yeah, he says it's an opinion, but actually they don't need any legislative approval in order to make this opinion and also to provide these services. So it's really pretty crazy.
And I like Tim's comment of, are we all but saying XRP is a currency as well?
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I mean, if we do get some final legislation passed on the taxonomy of cryptocurrencies and whether it's a commodity, a currency, or a security, we haven't gotten that yet. And I think that's probably going to be next. Now, the timing of this is very interesting, as I mentioned, because we had the digital dollar and the CARES Act happen recently. The idea of setting up cryptocurrency wallets at banks.
Weren't we just talking about it yesterday or the day before? About how they're setting up wallets, and look what's on the table for today. Yet another $1,200 second stimulus check and unemployment.
You must have been reading my mind, because that's what I got on my list. I have a little list right here. I put it on the back of the envelope.
I know it's good when I think maybe we're sharing the brain today, Dave.
I guess so. And there is a new stimulus package coming out. Unemployment benefits, from what I've read, are going to go from $600 a week to $400 a week, but they're extending them through the end of December. Not sure what this is.
Yeah, I've seen a couple too where it might be $600 a week to $400 a month, and or $100 a week. So I think they're still figuring that part out, because this one even talks about a potential $200 per week for unemployment rather than the $600.
And then at the bottom, Portman says $450 a week.
Yeah.
Oh, as a return to work
bonus. Don't you like that? We'll pay you to go back to work.
A week, $450 a week to return to work bonus.
So that's $1,800 a month. I want to get in on this.
Yeah, I know. That's too crazy. I guess I should have laid myself off and then gone back to work. God, I think I just missed a lot of money there. But anyway.
And then I know Trump's been heavy on this one with the payroll tax cuts. They got this in here too, that it might be included. Or no, Mnuchin's saying that it won't be included in the initial bill, but.
Yeah, because I heard something that Trump said that the reason he didn't like it was because it took too long for those payroll cuts to work through the economy, and people didn't get it fast enough. So we still may see a digital wallet bank custody clause or whatever in the new stimulus bill. We'll see if that happens. But I can't believe that this is a coincidence. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, Mr. BXRP, did a great video this morning on the significance of a statement that Brad Garlinghouse made in November of 2019, in which he said that within a year, he thought banks would custody cryptocurrencies. Now, what? It was like, I mean, everybody's shaking their head. Oh man, he's out there. He's way out there.
Right here.
Oh. I'll put that link in here for you guys that Dave provided to myself this morning, so you can pull it up and watch it later.
Yes, it's a pretty interesting. So he made the statement. He thought the Asian banks would be the first ones to custody. Maybe he thought the U.S. was moving a little bit slower, but at that time, Brian Brooks wasn't with the OCC yet. So now Brian Brooks is with the OCC. I think he's kind of sped things along and said, okay, we're going to do it. Interestingly enough, all of this opinion and this letter came out before any legislation was passed, and really came out of the blue because previously banks were not allowed to hold cryptocurrency in custody. And there was no regulation, there's no authority, but with the OCC's authority, now they can. It's just boom. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. So we got a little bit of pump in a few of the coins, not huge, nothing massive. Ethereum had a nice run up there. What do you on a daily chart?
Yep, this is a daily.
So yesterday, the 22nd, had a little bit of a pump up on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, all the major cryptocurrencies, ADA, a little bit. Nothing major. But here's why this is so important. It goes to adoption of cryptocurrencies. Adoption has been really suppressed because who wants to? I mean, think about it. You've got your seed words on a wallet that you set up. You lose those, you lose your cryptocurrency. And I made this analogy when I'm on, I think we've done this analogy before, but I've also done it on Brad Kime's show, is that it's like holding stock certificates in a vault in your house in the 1800s.
Right.
Holding cryptocurrency, and that is just so antiquated in the digital age. It can't really, you can't have mass adoption, and you can't have that kind of risk holding cryptocurrencies over the long term if you want this space to grow. And so this goes a long, long way to making it very easy for the average person to hold cryptocurrencies, because now they don't need to have those seed words safely secured on a piece of paper in their house. You can have it custodied at the bank, and then you just have one password, just like you're logging into your bank account.
Yeah, you got to make it easy for people.
Yeah, it's huge as far as adoption goes. The other piece of the news that goes along with this is the PayPal news. I didn't put a link to that, but that was kind of like a week or two old now.
Yep.
PayPal said that they're going to start opening up the purchase or sale of or custody of cryptocurrencies with PayPal, so you can start to buy cryptocurrency with PayPal pretty soon. Visa and MasterCard have also come out with some statements. So this is just, July 22nd, 2020 is going to be, I think, a date that we'll remember for a very, very long time in the community. And probably we'll call it Cryptocurrency Day or something.
Crypto Day or something, yep.
Yeah, Crypto Freedom Day, just almost like the July 4th holiday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I'm very excited, guys. Super excited.
And similar, but just slightly off topic, I had one person asking me, hey, how do I put in an order, so I don't have to worry about if it's just skyrockets up with this news happening. So it all depended on your platform. It's just like you would with your other brokerage account, right? Figure out how you trade it, wherever you bought it. You need to have it in that brokerage account and not on your cold storage wallet, because it can't, at least I don't have a way to do it. If there's a tricky way to do that yet, I don't know of it, where you can actually have an order fill if it's not on the deal, where they understand it's there. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So first off is you need to have whatever your crypto is. We'll just call it XRP in this case. We'll just say, hey, I saw it peaked here. Maybe I want to set up a sell order at $1 in case it goes crazy. You would just come in and just set a limit order and set your price at whatever your goal is. So if you want to sell it at $1, then whatever, maybe you want to sell a quarter of your holdings, you want to sell half your holdings, you want to put a specific amount of XRP, it'll calculate it for you. Just put that order in on your brokerage account and let it sit there. And make sure it's a good till cancel and not a day order. That's how you do that.
Oh, make sure you go over to the sell side, not the buy side, though.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is on the buy. So in Binance that we're looking at here, absolutely do it over here. Say, hey, I'm going to sell, $1 US version. I'm going to sell, we'll just call it 100 XRPs. We'll say I had that much in there, and I want to sell 100 XRPs at $1, so I get $100, and I bought it at 20 cents. So there's a nice 8-time return or whatever, 5-time return. So that's how you can sell your XRP. And you can have different
That's
levels.
the only way to do it. Yeah, that's the only way to do it. If you have it on your ledger or cold storage wallet, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. The exchange actually has to have access to it so it can fulfill the order, right? If it's on your cold storage, it doesn't actually see the cryptocurrency.
Yep,
So
that's exactly.
Yep. So whatever you want, that's how you do it there, sir. And I will make sure he sees this because I don't believe he joined us, but I'll make sure he gets the recording. And I figured if one person has
Awesome.
there's probably others that do too.
Yeah.
And you just decide whatever that
Yeah.
dollar is, whether you want to sell at $1, at $10, at $100, at $2. That's all personal choice. I can't tell you what to do there.
Now, I would absolutely love to see a spike like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be like 2017. If anybody was around in 2017, the market just went absolutely crazy. I mean, in March to June, XRP went from a half a cent to 40 cents, and then it went from 30 something or 24 cents all the way up to $3.20 by the end of December. Not sure that's going to happen. I think there's more institutional involvement right now. And the institutions don't like to drive the price up on themselves, though they're accumulating slowly over time. And I think they've been accumulating probably for the last year, if not more. And so, retail investors tend to get excited, and FOMO, institutional investors, are much more patient.
Yeah, so Sean's asking, so you'd have to transfer from your cold storage to Binance and they store it for you. Yeah, it's just a matter of you, exactly. Just like you put it on your cold storage, you take it back off your cold storage and you put it with your brokerage. So when you would look at your account, you look at your holdings, you would see whatever amount you have transferred, whether it's 10, 100, 1,000, whatever that level of XRP is, that would remain in your brokerage. So you could call it hot storage, I guess. And yeah, you'd be able to trade it. So you can sell it when it gets to whatever your price level is. Yeah, it'll be the same process for any brokerage, right? So you're just putting your cryptocurrency back in your brokerage that has access to the markets. So you can sell it when it hits your order or your target.
Can you do that on Uphold?
Uphold,
Because I don't.
maybe I shouldn't quote that because I don't know anything about Uphold. I've never used it personally.
Yeah, because I can use Uphold, but I can't use it for cryptocurrency because I'm in New York State. They don't allow it.
Oh, I thought it was maybe just another version of a brokerage.
Yeah, Uphold is they do have cryptocurrencies in some jurisdictions. So, but I don't know if you can put in advanced orders to sell at a certain level, like a traditional brokerage or like a Binance.us.
Gotcha. So check that out, Asham. They can answer your questions there.
Yeah.
And the last thing we can leave with, that you shot over the nice picture, what's the Fed been doing since 19? As they keep printing more money, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, we got to just start.
Isn't that insane?
How much is enough?
That is, and now they're coming out with the new stimulus bill. And there's just so many things there that can go wrong.
And the first one still has. My daughter let me know she's just now getting her first one. It's like,
oh really?
Yeah, they still haven't got the first ones out.
I don't know how they expect people to survive on $1,200 waiting 3 months.
Right. And I believe I looked at the schedule, if I remember right, and I think they had it going out through like October, that it would take them to get to everybody if they were doing the physical printing of checks. So that's just more fuel to the fire of that doesn't work. If you're trying to help people and stimulate the economy and it takes you a half a year to get it to them, well, you're a little late to the game there, Sally.
Yeah, so I think that was probably the reason for the digital wallets to be added to everybody's bank account in the first place, so they could get it out quickly. All they have to do is press a button and it's in your account.
Right, because that's what they're used to doing.
Yeah, they're so used to doing that on an institutional level, not on a consumer level. But you have to have I gotta believe that they're gonna do something like that to get the next stimulus check out, because otherwise, if they have the same delay in the second stimulus, some people won't get it till like next February or March.
Right. Yeah, we'll be in 21 for sure.
I mean, that's insane. Any questions, guys, before we wrap up for today? We're on half-hour schedule here on Monday through Thursday from now on. BD's got a question for you. You're the ES guy.
What's going on inside the market when there's really strong price signals and the actual price keeps moving in the opposite direction and it ignores it? Well, let's take a look. I haven't looked in the half hour we've been on here. There was a nice little bounce off of this level. I did see that right before we started, so that was a beautiful little setup. But is it this morning you're talking about or a different time?
Yeah. Well, the price signals bottomed and then started going up. So that's about right.
Yeah, so that started going. I just mentioned this before you came on, where this no longer continued to the downside and price then moved up as it moved up in the price signal here. Then once it has not continued up, we see the moving down, prices moving down. So which time frame are you referring to, BD? If you want to talk in central time, you mean like earlier this morning or just very recently?
Yeah, when the price signals stop going down, it's just like an oscillator. When it starts to move up, that means that we're getting some bullish price action. The arrows are only confirmation of the current trend. That's all.
Yep, we covered this.
Not a signal.
Okay, he says earlier. Yeah, hit me up. Excuse me, in Slack if you want, BD, or pull it up in the Slack channel so we can talk about it too. We'll make sure to get your questions answered. But yeah, just to close up, definitely no major market internals direction either way. That's why we're seeing some more Pong. Sham's got a quick one. He's trying to sneak in at a minute past. BXX Pro, don't understand much of the options, but going through the mechanics of your last video, I can see that the system works. I can see you're already in the money from yesterday's short trade. Anyway, all right. Keep it from my own understanding for the system. Yeah, there you go.
Read there's a couple of downloads in there that I put some basic option stuff in there, so make sure you read that, Asham. That's really good stuff. And also go to Tastyworks and watch all their videos on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has, I think, they have better ones on selling premium and options and stuff like that. So if you go to Tastyworks YouTube channel, they have some great videos on volatility, option premiums, selling, spreads, and all that kind of stuff. Yep, you're welcome.
All right, guys, it's been a great week on our new schedule. Next week we'll have 4 days, including Monday. So, Dave, I'll do my best to tune in. Are you going to be on tomorrow with B?
I will. It won't be live, though, because he stopped doing the live ones. He had a little issue with some,
okay,
I don't know, whatever dings for at YouTube. But so we're doing the recordings, but I'll definitely shout you guys out.
We'll tell him I said hi, and we got to hook up sometime.
I will, absolutely. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you Monday.
Have a good weekend. Take it easy, Dave.
You too.